Thromguard, and this is the daily creation by Thromguard. So I'm your host, Thromguard, as I've said 4 times in this intro. I got to really figure out this intro. And we are working on our little guy here. We made some serious progress. We did our wireframe. Then we went over it with some more kind of like rough drawings, and now we're tightening it up. We're going in and we're beating up all the lines, making them all dirty, making it all crazy. So hopefully today we'll get into some color, we'll get into some shading, all that fun stuff. But let's get to work. I think we should get on the quills up here. Or do I want to do the feet first? No, I'm avoiding the quills because it's going to be a lot of work. So I'm going to do the quills. Always save your work. This is something I literally never do, and it kills me. It kills me every time. Beast Toad. Official name. If I could, I'm typing with my left hand because my right hand has my tablet stuff. Beast Toad. Save. Save. Okay. I never do that. And it always costs me. It literally always catches up with me. I never learn. Okay. Oh, we're off to a rough start. I'm going to do like when I paint it, when I come back over with color, I'll fill in all these gaps and stuff, and it's like this sense of closure. It'll kind of close on itself. You kind of, if you look at like nature and stuff, like there's no like hard lines, and like any kind of natural thing that you look at with your eyes, like there's no hard lines. So you don't want to try to just draw out every little line. It's like when people draw teeth. Like this is a big thing people do when they first draw teeth, is they draw them like super like detailed. Every tooth has a line and it looks weird. It looks like the person they're drawing is diseased or something. You got to draw like hints of lines, some shading and stuff like that. Like no hard lines, because there actually isn't hard lines in the teeth. Unless you're wanting them to look super weird and like diseased or whatever, then yeah, then absolutely. I'm not going to get super crazy with these quills. I'm just going to get them all cleaned up. When I come back over and paint them, they'll look a lot better. Yep. This is the part of the drawing where you have to just kind of do it. You have to get in there. There we go. That was good. That was a good cut. Good cut. Like that cut. Little stuff like this, man, when you come in and you just do the details, get in there. Once again, you don't have to. I mean, it all depends on your style. There's so many different styles to creation. You just have to find yours. This is one I've always liked to do, like how I like to do it. And that's how I do it. Take the meaning of my words. Don't just copy me. Never just copy somebody. Take their advice. Apply it. Heck, even try to like do your own thing. See? Oh, look at that. Those quills look way better now. Now we can start doing the claws. Let's get in here. There we go. Brush. I like to put knuckles and stuff on these. Like, I like to get really grotesque with the claws. A lot of erasing. Tight little claws. This is going to take some concentration. There we go. And I'll bring this knuckle up a little bit. And I want to be gnarly like little claws. He'd rip your face off in a second if it required protecting his den from you, or his food stocks. Get between me and some like Raising Cane's chicken. I'd fight a dude. Raising Cane's is like taking over my town right now, and I have no problem with that. It was like we didn't have any Raising Cane's here at all, and then all of a sudden there's like 5. Look at that. Look how dirty that is. I love it. But see, now his arm is too simple, which is what I kind of expected would happen. So we're going to draw and make that arm a little dirtier. I've been listening to Post Malone. That's the reason why I've been eating Raising Cane's, because he's like all about Raising Cane, eating that Raising Cane's. And he drinks like Bud Light. And I was like, you know what? I don't really drink a lot of Bud Light. I can't remember when I was like, last time I had a Bud Light. And I was like, I'm going to get it. Went down. It was like $20. Got me like a party case or whatever. Delicious. Bud Light is delicious. I'm just going to say that. I was like, man, Post, you're onto something, brother. Bud Light and Raising Cane's, man. I think it was at that moment I realized that I'm not any kind of connoisseur of food. The hipster movement and everything, everybody all of a sudden became like this expert on food and flavors and wines and all this stuff. And not going to lie, I kind of got sucked into that and started doing that myself. I was unbearable to be around. If you're like, "Ooh, I bet you were terrible to be around," you were right. Which is funny because like I've been vegan before and I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Even thought about going back to vegan because I just like it's fun. So like I'm not like against like the movements or anything, just the attitude. But yeah, I am by no means a food connoisseur. This is a weird one. Like my favorite way to eat pizza is like cheese pizza. I was like, I'm a food connoisseur. I like pizza with all this stuff on it. And I'm like, then I went and got like the local pizza around here. And I got like cheese pizza. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever put in my mouth. And it's like even my artwork, this is the weird thing too. Like the whole thing permeated, the hipster thing permeated to my artwork and stuff. And all of a sudden I was like, I got to make like fine art and bull crap. And it's just like, but I like drawing monsters. You know, I like playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like, who cares? That was one thing that miffed me. Been a geek my whole life, reading comic books, playing video games, you know, trying to play Dungeons and Dragons. Unfortunately, I lived in places where there wasn't a lot of access to people with it. Warhammer 40K, like full on geekiness. This is what I am. And the hipster thing, all of a sudden everybody was like becoming like geeks, and it was like kind of like cool or whatever. I was like, oh man, I got all these people. And then you would kind of start doing it with people, and you would just realize that like they're just doing it because they're obsessed with the counterculture. And then you're just like, well, this is no fun. There's no passion here. Ranting and raving. Back to the drawing. Oh, look at that. He's starting to look good. I'm liking it. I keep hitting the mic with my glasses. I gotta stop doing that. All right, so let's get back in that. See that arm all knotty and weird? Oh, it looks so good. Makes me so happy. I'm gonna do that with the teeth and stuff too. Eyes already pretty much done. That looks terrible right there. Just want you to know. I see that. We'll come in with an eraser and we'll shape that up, make that look nice. You won't even know. Definitely an art thing. To just annihilate something and just see how it works, see how it ticks, and then come back in and fixing it. Had this epiphany because I was like, I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, what am I going to do? And my wife she's sweetheart, helping me out. We're trying to figure it out together. Because I'm like good at lots of things. I learn things really quickly. So like, there's a lot of things like on my docket that I can just start cranking out if I wanted to. Like, it all takes about, it's just putting in the effort. And I was beating myself up about it. And I realized what it was. I was like, it finally dawned on me. I was like, what is it? What is it that I do? Like yelling into the heavens. And I realized, like, even when I was a kid, my favorite thing in the world to do, one thing I would love to do, is sit in one place and just create stuff. Like, seriously, like for days, hours, weeks. I said that in a weird order, but you get it. And it's, it's funny because like I was told my whole life that like, oh, you can't live your life like that. That's lazy. That's not how it's supposed to work. And I realized like it's not lazy. And I believed that for years. And I just thought, I am lazy. I just like, I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be doing construction or whatever. Because I grew up in construction and I was really good at it. And I mean, I'm probably not that good anymore because I haven't done it in quite a while. But, at the time I was pretty sound. Like you could, give me a saw or drill or whatever. And I recognized it. I knew how to operate it. I can even operate like machinery and stuff. Whole laundry list of things I could do in it, and I was just miserable, and I thought I was just being lazy. And I realized, no, it's not. Like, if I took those people that like love to do that stuff, like that's where they, that's where they get their jams from, and I take them and I sit them down like I'm doing right now, they would lose their minds. Like, if it was lazy, I wouldn't be drawing and recording this right now and then editing it and posting it on the internet. It's not lazy. It's just, that's what my thing is. And I'm not saying, ignore that, or like if I had to like to feed my family, had to go back into construction and that was the only way I could do it, then yeah, absolutely. I would jump right onto it. So it's not like I wouldn't just like avoid it, like if it was the only means, but that's what was the problem with me for years, is like I was doing something that I just literally just was not built to do or destined to do, or whatever you want to believe, like it wasn't a fit for me. Just realized that. Look at that. That's going to look really good when that's painted. Oh, that's so good. Well, anyway, back to what I was saying. I was basically doing stuff wasn't destined to do, felt called to do, whatever you want to do it. And like what I was built to do, I was not doing it because people told me that it was not the way to do it. But that's just not the case. It's never been the case, you know? I'm a creative guy and, you know, I just sit down, I lock in, and that's how I do it. And, you know, we live in a really cool age now, you know, I could just get online and do all kinds of cool stuff. And my advice is, like, obviously there's, you know, be ready to do stuff you don't want to do and just do it with gusto, you know, like, oh, what am I doing? I'm losing my mind. You know, like, you know, work at it as best you can, but like really seek whatever it is that you're made to do. I truly believe people are made to do stuff. Like, I don't know what you believe, but that's what I believe. Basically what I'm saying is just find what it is that you do and do it. Do lots of it. Get vulnerable with it. If you're an artist and you're not posting your stuff online or showing people, like the good old fashioned way, just like walking up to them and saying, hey, what do you think of this? Like I have friends that I call upon and I have them critique stuff, you know. I like, hey, look at my stuff. What do you think it is? Like, how do you like it? It can go different ways. I've had them like actually tell me like one time, sometimes like it's just not good. And like usually when they tell me that it's not good is as I realized I was going in a direction where I was trying to please other people as opposed to what I felt was good. And I ended up creating something that was not good. And so like I have people that I show it to, and I'm posting these videos online. Like you could totally get down in the comments and just beat this to death, just hate on it. But you know, you have to get visible. You have to get people out there to see it. A lot of this too is like I'm talking, you know, and I like to talk, but like, you know, a lot of it too is just holding me accountable and just watch me grow and be vulnerable. Like just basically put myself out there in front of the wolves, you know, saying, hey, here I am. You know, what are you going to do? You know, like, because there's going to be people that hate this, and you have to get toughen up. You have to seriously, like, people are going to critique your stuff. It's okay. You know, like if people don't like it, you know, certain stuff, it's okay to, you know, to ignore. Like there's people, like I've done stuff for people and they're like, I don't get the whole monster thing. And they're not the right person for my product, you know, like they just, you know, like that's okay. That's not their bag, but you know, like I can't get offended by that, you know, but like at the same time, I can't like stop what I'm doing just because one person doesn't like it. And you have to discern that too. Like there's certain critiques that are like just based on opinion. And then there's other critiques where people are generally looking at your stuff and they're going to give you honest opinion, constructive criticism. And then you're going to get people who are just going to flat out insult you and call you all kinds of horribleness. But that's just how it goes, man. You just have to stick your neck out. Let the executioner take a swipe at your neck. That is one thing I didn't do for years as a creator, especially when I was younger. So terrified what people thought about my stuff. I was so bent around creating stuff that other people would like, which was funny because I was like my worst critic on top of that. Like no one talked like that. No one thought like that. Like it was all me. And it was funny because like I would go on there and I would see these other guys because, you know, when you're younger, you're finding people who are doing similar stuff to you. And I would get like other friends who were like drawing and stuff. And I remember there was this guy, and I remember I particularly didn't like the guy. It was back when I was in school, and he was just kind of like this weird spazzy guy, but he had this comic book series. I forget the exact name of it, but he had this style. It was like these stick figures, but it was so cool. Like they had like these jointed arms. It was like, he had these crazy, like simple faces. It was super simple, super minimal, but I fell in love with it. I was like, this stuff is so good. And I loved his style. And it was funny because like I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this guy's style and he's clearly not drawing for anybody for himself. Like it didn't match anything. It wasn't like a comic book style drawing. It wasn't like something you would like show off in like some kind of contest or whatever. Like it was very clearly his. And I remember I just absolutely fell in love with it. And yet I would not do that with my own stuff. I did, like I said before, and I think it was the last episode, I said I would kind of do that. I would venture into it and then I would pull back. But like his stuff, I was just always fell in love with it. I was like, I remember his stuff so vividly. But it was just like that's that kind of stuff you have to do. You have to kind of develop your own style. You have to accept criticism from the right kind of critics. You don't become like this idiot, like butthurt guy. You have to kind of go, like, oh, you don't understand it, whatever. Like you don't do that. You just can't do that. It doesn't work that way. That's not how life works. If you want to get any kind of income from this, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable, and you have to be tough, and you have to be forgiving and loving, and because at the same time, then maybe you caught them on a bad day. Like maybe they're just giving you a rough time because they're on a bad day or something. Like it could be a whole nother slew of things. And I'm by no means an expert at this. Like I am so quick to go, oh, this guy's an idiot, and move on. But something I've definitely had to learn and definitely try to put more in practice now is that, people have their opinions. People have their opinions. And some people's opinions mean something, and you have to listen. All right, that was a quick little slew. Oh, I guess on that, I'll just end this second episode. Thanks for sticking around for episode 2. Join me tomorrow. Want to say next week. But join me tomorrow, where we'll keep drawing this little beastie. And yeah, so thanks for sticking around as much as you can. Give me feedback, give me comments. Like I said, if I'm talking about critiquing my work, get in there and tell me what you think. Give me your opinions. All right. I love all of you with a fatherly love. All right. Bye.